Greetings and welcome to story time. Got a beer out because you need a beer for this one. I've got alcohol-free beer today though. So, a word of warning to my fellow theistic Satanists. Do not, or try to avoid, going to a Christian church, because I went to a Christian church and had a strange experience. Let's just say it like that. Need a swig of beer, alcohol-free beer today, to explain this one. So I went to the local friendly Church of England church, and just to see, I'm a theistic Satanist, you know, I don't need to go to some church and get told fire and brimstone, but I just thought, you know, it's the local community, people are there, maybe I might meet some interesting people in my local community, you know. So I went down, sat there in the service, and I just felt this anxiety over me. Just felt this anxiety on me, and it's oh my god, right? It was a hard 45 minutes, and they had puppets. They used puppets because it was a whole family service. They sung hymns and shit. Oh, hymns. That's old-fashioned stuff, especially for me. Ugh. So I was put off anyway. But anyway, so I become this vicar's quite old, he's in his 50s at least, and I become obsessed with the vicar, in my mind's eye, and something's telling me that I need to help him, I need to help him. So I go through the service, I have a little chat with the vicar, and then everyone's friendly, you know, or some were friendly. I was gonna try and get involved with the puppeteers and do some puppeting. That sounded pretty fun. It was Christian themed puppetry though. So then I go home, I buy a load of Christian themed puppets for no apparent reason. I sent them back to Amazon, thank goodness. Thank goodness I sent them back to Amazon. And yeah, it's just so strange, so strange. So then, in my mind's eye, I feel I'm being told, I need to help this guy. And then I find out that the vicar's lost his daughter at the age of 1 to some hereditary condition. It was on they held a remembrance day thing in the church in 2019, and it was they talked about it and they played classical music and stuff like that. So it was oh, that's lovely, that's I brought a tear to my eye. And then this voice in my head, I believe this is not fallen angels, which is a good thing for us, but angels from heaven must have been, I didn't know that, but it was in a way, so I was being told, oh, you need to send a message to the vicar, you need to do this thing for him, and because it was this classical music event. So I buy a set of headphones and a music player. This little music player here kind of looks nifty, doesn't it? Kind of swish, nifty, lovely little music player. So it's a little, I get a little iPod, you know what I mean, and it's not an iPod, but and these Sony professional headphones to listen to classical music, and the voice, the angels, was saying that it was his daughter from heaven had told me to go buy that for him, and that I was to present it to him and say this is from your daughter in heaven, when you feel sad and lonely. And there was a Christian song whenever you're alone, put on your headphones, love's coming through your headphones. And then I even got this passage from the Bible, from Corinthians 13:13, 1 Corinthians 13:13. It'll be burned in my memory now, faith, love, and faith, hope, and love, and love's the most powerful one. So even I got this, I'll get this message, because obviously, because we're Satanists, we're used to communicating with demons, which are fallen angels, and fallen angels. I don't know how that works. I need to do more research, but like we're used to talking to demons, right? And so we're used to talking to like fallen angels, and so these angels were talking, and I'm like, I got this message. I need to give them this message. I need to give the vicar this message. He needs to hear from his daughter who's died, and she's grown up in heaven, and she wants to send him this message, and it's going to be really important. And I'm going to give him these gifts, and I'm going to present him the little box with the little player, and he can listen to. And I got a load of CDs. I spent £50 on CDs. So that's like what, $70 to $80 for you guys. And yeah, and like this was like $120, and the headphones were probably about $100. Spent a lot of money. Like, do the math conversion for pounds as well. So I spent a lot of money, right? Luckily I can't send the CDs back, but I can send the music player back. I might keep the headphones for myself. So I was like, I've got this message from heaven to give him from his daughter who's all grown up, and it's going to be beautiful. And like when he's sad, and it was the 25-year anniversary from when she died coming up in November. So I was like, oh, I've got this message for you. And then I got this message that I was going to give him like a compass, like as in, you know, for navigation, and say like, God's told you to go on this, to keep you straight, like in your path, in your journey, you know. And it's like, ooh, you know. So I researched it, and I was convinced I was going to go into the church. I was going to get the vicar, say, I've got this message from heaven. I need to show you this. I've got these things for you, and I want you to do this. I want you to put on your headphones, read it. And then, so, you know, I became obsessed with it in my mind. It took over my entire mind. I didn't do anything else. I literally became obsessed with it, like to the point of not being able to do anything else. I was obsessed with it. And then I researched, thankfully, because, you know, I speak to the demons, and, you know, I've devoted my life to our Lord and Saviour, Lucifer. I've got his sigil on right now. This is my Luciferian sigil. I got a message saying, oh, this is not good, don't go to church, it's going to conflict with our views of being Satanists, like don't go near Christians, don't hang around with them. And I read a passage from the Bible, and I had this view like, no, I can be like an independent person who can like join the two together, like, and I can give this message from heaven, and like still be a Satanist, you know, still worship Lucifer, but like give this man who worships God a message from heaven, and it's all going to be beautiful, and the peace in like the world, and I was going to bring this peace between heaven and hell, you know, and the link in the earth. So I was doing that, and then it was like, no, don't. And then I read there was a passage in the Bible that says that he who like worships Satan, I googled it, like he who worships Satan or Lucifer like cannot dine at the table of God. So I was like, we need a drink for this one. I was like, and then I read that the Church of England have got a special paranormal team of exorcists that come out, and they believe that the Church of England, and the church in general, all Christianity, believes that the dead remain dead and can't talk to you, and that anyone who turns up saying that they can talk to the dead or they have a message from the dead is paranormal activity, and they need exorcising. So thankfully the vicar was on holiday for a week, which gave me enough time for Satan to talk to me and the demons and say like, look, we need to stop doing this. You need to stop. Do not go back to the church. And he revealed to me by like helping me Google like this information and like research this information, that yeah, there's these teams. I need to look up what they were called now, but they were called like healing teams or whatever. They weren't called evangelical teams, but they were called this thing, right, in the Church of England. So effectively, the Church of England has specialist teams of exorcists. So I would have said to the vicar, I've got this message from heaven from you, and then he would have been like, oh, okay, writing it down, like, because he's local, he knows where I live, he knows my address, you know. And they'd send out a team of exorcists to come get me and exorcise me. So I'm really glad I didn't go up to the vicar and present. Also, like, they'll have said, like, these are demonically cursed, don't use them. Like, don't use the headphones in the thing, because it'll be demonically cursed. So, I nearly spilt my beer. So, I'm glad I didn't do that, because I would have had a bunch of exorcists after me. Could have even destroyed my journey with Lucifer, because they could have said like, oh, you've spoken to demons and we need to save you and we're going to exorcise you. So, in my conclusion to this event that occurred to me, angels will lead a trap for you if you go to a church. So if you have to, if like you've been forced to, or you go to a wedding or something of friends who are getting married in a church, maybe you've got Christian friends or a christening or something like that, family, whatever, friends, family, do not listen to anything that is sent to your mind's eye. Like, do not listen to anything sent to you in your mind's eye, because angels will lie to you and set you up for a trap for you to be like, then the church can get you and exorcise you. And so it was a trap. Like, it probably wasn't his daughter from heaven. It was the angels telling me it was his daughter from heaven and they wanted me to give him this message. And so it like, God, Jehovah, like, will lead you astray to get in trouble. And I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know that was possible. Like, we talk to Lucifer and demons, but actually they set up, like, the angels and God Jehovah set up traps to entrap us Satanists, or even spiritualists, or anyone who wants to dabble with the occult. Like, we get fake messages to do something, to help, like, and it's so evil, because I thought I was actually helping someone. It's so evil. Damn, I need a drink. So it's so evil. It's so evil, that, because I felt like I was helping. I thought I was doing something really good and I was helping. And it turns out I was walking into a trap. And I could have been exorcised. And then I take it that the exorcism is actually like God put something in there, like, that comes out. Like, it's not actually Lucifer and the demons, it's actually angels pretending to be them, and to create this whole palaver. Because if I was exorcised, I'd be spouting all this gibberish that isn't true about Satanism and Lucifer and the demons, and instead I would have been spouting all this like mad crap because I was being talked to by angels. So they actually trick you. It's like the ultimate gaslighting. They pretend to be things, like they pretend to be demons when actually they're not, and they pretend to be Satan or Lucifer and they're not. So that's my message from today's video. Beware of any Christian church. Beware of any church if it's not like the occult or black magic or Satanism or Luciferianism. Be very cautious and do not listen to anything that's sent to your mind's eye that's attracting you, because I felt this pull to the church. I felt I was being pulled, you know, emotionally, spiritually pulled to this church. And it's actually like angels saying, come in, we're going to destroy you. So yeah, and I could have been exorcised and then like put under the thumb of God, Jehovah, bullshit, Jesus, Holy Trinity, motherfuckers. I need to edit that out. I'd be under thumb of God, Jehovah, Jesus, all that bad stuff, all that oppression, all that brainwashing. So yeah, stay independent, stay true to yourself, avoid Christian churches, my friends. Avoid them like the plague. And if you do have to attend for family, friends, function, do not listen to anything sent to you in your mind's eye. Do not interact with the people from the church, because it will lead you into a trap where they will find you and then exercise you. Ooh. So that's my story for today. I hope you enjoyed it. It's a true story as well, which is absolutely terrifying. Beware of Christian churches, or beware of like any non-satanic churches, my friends. Beware, because angels will come and tell you lies, and then you'll be sucked in, and Lucifer only knows what would happen to you, or should I say God only knows what would happen to you, because he's the one pulling the strings behind to lure you in. So be very careful, be very careful. The left-hand path, is it left? That's my left, but is that your left? The left-hand path is a dangerous one occasionally, so beware, my friends. Stay strong to Lucifer, and hail Satan. Don't forget to subscribe for more and check out the videos here and here. I'm sure I'll put some links to some awesome new videos. Hopefully this advice has been helpful to you, and stay strong. Thank you ever so much, and hail Satan.